Okay, race one, and sorry about the blurriness of the forehead cam on the top left, and sorry for the lack of a TV cam. The cameras just didn't really seem good enough on this track to use. As you can see, I got a decent start, usually do, and have pretty good reflexes, I think. The first lap here didn't go too well. I actually tapped the wall there and lost a couple of places, down to P12 right there. I did get a few laps in practice, and I basically got used to the track, but hadn't built up any real consistency yet. I was lapping probably about 2 seconds off the pace in qualifying, but normally in races I lap faster than I did or than I do in qualifying anyway. So yeah, race one, not really happy with it. I made quite a few mistakes here and there, and got kind of bogged down in traffic and didn't really go anywhere. So maybe next season, if we come back to this track, because it's a very nice track. It's got a really nice flow to it. You can see I'm now in P11 because I just passed Neville Britton, who had been in the pit lane. Other than that, I'm just following these guys around and not really going anywhere. Right there, I felt like I was going to hit the car ahead, so screwed up my braking, and then when I rejoined the track at the other side of the chicane there, Neville was right beside me, so I kind of had to drive off the track to make sure I didn't hit him. Now on lap 4, it's just me moving into P10. And closing in on P9 here as well. Like I said, this is a nice track. It's very challenging to get things right. You can certainly get these chicanes very wrong. And behind me here, we're now on lap 15, is Neville Britton again. So he must have had an interesting race, because I think he passed me about 5 times here. This is another time where I missed the chicane again, and there he goes, flying through. Now down to P10. Lap 19, negotiating the chicane again. And this was very, very, very annoying. I just actually reinstalled the software after testing, and I did not have reverse mapped, so I couldn't reverse. I actually had to bounce off the Armco to turn myself around. I think I lost only 1 position, but I lost a bucket load of time there. And it's just one of those things that always seems to happen to screw up my races. Now on lap 21, running in P10, and that's the finish of the race. So finished in P10. Just about to start race 2, which uses an inverted grid, so I would be starting second. I the way that the inverted grid works is that people that don't actually finish don't get the inverted grid benefiting them. So I was the second to last car that finished the first race. But anyway, I got a fantastic start, which I always seem to do, and took the lead. I found out pretty quickly, though, that the guy behind might be a lot faster than me, but these early stages, you know, it felt pretty good to be out front. Trying to hit my marks and not make any mistakes. The frustrating thing about this track in particular is that it has a really nice flow, and it's easy to lap the lap time that I can get, which is sort of 1 minute 12-ish. But the really fast guys that go 1 minute 10, they're taking so many risks of, you know, kind of lifting up two wheels on the curbs, and it's just not a way that I feel like I can kind of drive. You can see now I'm down to P2. The eventual winner of the race passing me there. So just like last week at Croft, I kind of helped the guy that wins by being his blocker for a little while. I think I did actually stay in P2 for quite a few laps, and the rest of the race was just a story of me making mistakes and, you know, really paying the price for those. But you can see how nice this track is. It's got some really nice fast sweeping turns, and slow speed braking areas. The chicanes are nice and challenging, and when you're kind of hopping over the curbs like that, you know, the force feedback is really nice, of course. Now on lap 6, and I'm still in second position. You can see me brake, you know, way too late there, almost spin out, and have to bring it back, and lost one place, lost 2 places, and you know, you can see the rest of the field has now completely caught me up, and it's unfortunate because I was lapping close enough to, you know, the faster guys' pace that they weren't finding it that easy to catch me. Now, I don't really know where I might have finished if I could have, you know, kept my head on my shoulders and actually not screwed up. But I did, and this is what happened. Still P4. Guys behind are, you know, closing in, and I'm obviously pretty pissed off at myself right now anyway, so I'm not really concentrating as much as I should be. Yeah, and he's close enough to make a move now. Pulling to the outside into turn 1, and I brake a little bit early because I know he's going to get past me anyway, and couldn't get over to the left before the next car followed him through, and lost enough time there and slid around, you know, away from the racing line really, that lost another place to Neva as well. So now I'm down in P7 on lap 7. So really not a successful last lap there. Just gained a position back when the second place runner just spun out there. Very similar to what happened to me in the first race, really. Probably clipped the grass with the right side and then spun over to the left just like I did. I'm guessing to to stop my forehead cam from kind of whiting out as much as it is, I probably need to increase the light that in my my office here. I probably had the surrounding area too dark, and then the brightness from the screens just overpowered the camera. It's a pretty old GoPro Hero 960, I think it is. I think this was one of my fastest laps of the race, actually. Driving along here behind Neville, who just passed me, and ahead of Karsten, who's behind. Ran very wide there. Yeah, and he passed me, and I'm now P7. This lap I'm just starting again was another really fast lap, following Karsten, similar to Croft, where I followed him and managed to get a decent time. But of course, it's you know, too late now. The race is over, and unless we come back to this track next season, it doesn't really matter if I now know how to drive it. Obviously, I still don't know how to drive the chicanes there. I completely screwed that one up. But if you look here, there's two cars that have crashed and managed to pass them by. And now up into P5. Lap 11 now, still running in 5th, and running wide here, and Neville, who's obviously recovered from that incident in the previous clip, is now right behind me again. So similar to the first race where he passes me a couple of times, same thing in this race too. He had a very eventful day today. He pulls to the left, and of course, knowing he's there, you know, I try to give him space because I know he's going to be able to pass me anyway. At this point, very disappointed to be running 6th. I know that if I had been a lot more consistent, I could have really had a good result here. Little screw-ups like this one on lap 18 here. I just kept losing places, and you know, it's unfortunate, but it's you know, I can blame myself. I can also blame a lack of practice, and it's just one of those things. I also, in the first race, I ran the medium tyre, and I think the decreased grip actually made it wear out faster because I was probably working it a little bit too hard. And this second race I actually ran the softer tyre, and it lasted much better the whole race. Now that incident there, I felt like I was going to run straight in the back of him. He braked, and you know, I momentarily was a bit shocked by that, and lost another place. So now it's still lap 18, and I'm down to P7, which funnily enough seems to be the position that I always finish in, regardless of what track it is, how many opponents there are, everything. No matter what happened in a race, I always seem to end up in 7th place. Now it's lap 21, and missed the chicane again. And that actually gave me a penalty. So this is actually the last lap of the race, and I had to serve a stop-go penalty. And of course, not having reverse hooked up. Do you think I had the pit commands hooked up? Of course not. So I had to stop here in the pits and not only do a stop and go, but also a full service pit stop. As I'm approaching here, I'm not actually sure where the pit lane entry is because I had never used it, so I had to figure out where that was first of all, put the pit limiter on, figure out where it's going to ask me to stop, which was here, and the stop and go was only a second, and then I had to wait for the pit stop to complete, and then I had to accelerate across the line, which is just near the end of the pit lane, right there. And that's it, that's the end of the race, P7. So at least I didn't lose a position with that penalty.